If you're planning to spend New Year's Eve alone, you might change your mind after hearing this. Some people believe midnight opens a door between worlds, and the last night of the year is when something else might step through. This story happened to a girl named Emily. And after that night, she was never seen again. 22-year-old Emily Parker lived alone in a small apartment on the edge of Manhattan. Her friends traveled home for the holidays, her family lived across the country, and she didn't feel like going out. Snow fell quietly outside as she made hot chocolate and turned on a movie. But something felt off. The air felt heavier than usual. As if she wasn't alone in the apartment. At 11:17 p.m., she heard a slow knocking on her front door. Knock, knock, knock. She checked the peephole, nothing. She checked the hallway camera, also nothing. Then her phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. Don't ignore me, Emily. It's New Year's Eve. Her stomach dropped. No one had her new address. Emily replayed the security camera footage, rewinding it a minute. This time, the video glitched. A tall, dark figure stood at the far end of the hallway, perfectly still. The footage flickered. The silhouette was suddenly closer. Then closer. And then, its face came into view. There was no face. Just darkness. The feed cut to static. Her phone buzzed again. I told you not to spend New Year's Eve alone. Before she could react, a creak echoed from the staircase inside her apartment. Her blood ran cold. Someone, or something, was inside with her. She backed into her bedroom and locked the door. The light flickered violently. Shadows moved across the walls even though nothing was there. Then she heard it. A low, rumbling laugh from somewhere downstairs. Not human. Not even close. Outside, people were counting down. 10. 9. 8. But Emily barely breathed. Heavy footsteps climbed her stairs. 7. 6. Her doorknob rattled softly. 5. 4. Her phone buzzed again. A final text. It's midnight. Let me in. 3. 2. The bedroom door slowly opened by itself. Emily stared into the darkness. A long, pale hand reached through the doorway. 1. Happy New Year. Emily screamed. But the sound cut off abruptly. As if someone grabbed the air right out of her lungs. When neighbors knocked on her door the next day, nobody answered. Police entered the apartment. Emily was gone. The only thing left was writing on the bedroom wall. Never spend New Year's Eve alone. And on the floor, a smeared black handprint, long, thin fingers, not human. The hallway cameras were wiped completely clean. Except for the last 6 seconds. A dark silhouette stood at the end of the hall. It raised its hand. And waved at the camera. 2 days after Emily's disappearance, police pulled her phone records. Something strange appeared in the logs. At 12:03 a.m., 3 minutes after midnight, Emily's phone made an outgoing call. Not to 911. Not to a friend. It dialed a number listed only as unknown, origin not found. The call lasted 47 seconds. No voice. Only faint breathing, and a whisper at the end. Another year, another soul. The officers dismissed it as corrupted audio. But one detective, Marcus Halloway, couldn't stop thinking about it. Halloway visited the apartment again. This time, at night. He played back the surviving camera footage frame by frame. Something no one noticed before suddenly appeared. When the silhouette waved at the camera, Emily was standing behind it. Her face looked pale. Her eyes completely black. Her mouth open like she was silently screaming. But here's the impossible part. That part of the hallway didn't exist in real life. It was a dead end. No space to stand. No place for her to be. It was as if the camera captured a version of reality the human eye couldn't see. Holloway immediately shut off the screen and whispered, "This wasn't human, and she's not dead." On January 3rd, at 2:14 a.m., Emily's best friend Megan received a message from Emily's number. The profile photo was gone. The name was blank. Just an empty contact. The message only said, "Don't be alone next New Year's Eve." Megan froze. Her hands shaking, she replied, "Emily? Where are you?" Seconds later, a photo came through. A dark room. A cracked mirror. And in the reflection, Emily. Smiling. But behind her, a tall faceless figure stood, one hand resting on her shoulder. A final message appeared. "Midnight comes for everyone." Then her phone died instantly, battery 86% to 0%. It never turned on again. But the end of World War II was not the end of the story for the United States. When the guns finally fell silent in 1945, a new kind of battle began, a battle to rebuild a world shattered by 6 years of destruction. American troops returned to Europe and the Pacific, not as conquerors, but as protectors, helping restore governments, rebuild cities, and bring stability to countries left in ruins. Millions of soldiers came home carrying memories they would never forget. Some returned to cheering families and new opportunities. Others returned with invisible scars, reminders of nights spent in foxholes, of friends lost in distant lands. The United States now faced the challenge of welcoming back an entire generation shaped by war. The GI Bill opened the door to education and home ownership for returning veterans, helping create the American middle class and fueling a period of economic growth that changed the country forever. But even as peace settled across the world, the United States found itself stepping into a new role, that of a global leader. The lessons of World War II were clear: isolation could no longer protect the nation from danger. So America helped build the United Nations, NATO, and new alliances to prevent another global catastrophe. This was the beginning of a new era, the Cold War, a tense standoff between the United States and the Soviet Union. The fear of nuclear conflict, born from the bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, shaped global politics for decades to come. Back at home, Americans looked to the future with hope. The 1950s became an age of innovation. Cars filled the highways. Televisions entered living rooms. The space race began, pushing science and technology to unimaginable heights. And through it all, the memory of World War II remained a driving force, reminding the nation of what it had overcome, and what it must protect. For the families who lost loved ones, the war was not simply a chapter in a history book. It was a collection of photographs kept in drawers, medals pinned to jackets, and stories passed down from one generation to the next. These memories kept alive the bravery of those who fought on the beaches of Normandy, in the skies over Europe, and across the islands of the Pacific. Today, when Americans visit memorials in Washington, D.C., the rows of white stones at Arlington Cemetery or the grand walls of the World War II Memorial, they are reminded that the freedoms they enjoy were secured at an incredible cost. Every etched name represents a story of courage, sacrifice, and unwavering duty. World War II reshaped the world. It reshaped America. And the values born from that era, unity, resilience, determination, continue to define the American spirit.